evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Radio Works World. This is your emotional evolution host, Therese Deep Down, or Therese, as Marina would say, and I hope you're great wherever you are. And with me, Marina Nani is here. And Marina, we're going to talk about emotional awareness today. How to become emotional aware of all the emotions we carry around. And are you emotional aware Marina, of your emotional state today as we start the program?
Wow, thank you so much, Therese. I have to practice more. I have to have great conversation more. So I'm sure one day I will pronounce your name the right way.
It's the sweetest way you pronounce it, Marina. So I just adore it. Every time you say it, my son was, like I told you, my son was was trying to pronounce it the way you do. And it's the sweetest one I've heard so far. So like I said, I just adore it and I adore you. So
Thank you so
no
much.
problem.
I'm so humbled to be part of your journey because I
Thank
know
you.
this is just the beginning and I know your book is coming up soon. And I know you wrote about your emotions for your son. And I know that there is a power within, and the power we hold, each one of us, is the power of emotions. There is nothing more powerful than your own emotions. And there are 6,000 type of emotions, and it's a
Mhm.
choice. Whatever emotions you choose in this moment in time right now
Yes.
is a personal choice. And for me,
Mhm.
I feel so humbled, Therese, being here. And say hi to your son, and I can't wait to read your book. Over to you,
Oh, so
Therese.
can I. Like you said, this is all a journey, and I mean, it has taken me years to become aware too, and to actually to understand what is going on. Because in the end, it's all about becoming aware. And like I said, many of us and most of us go around parts of our life we're not even aware of what we feel in our emotional state and how that serves us. I mean, if it's in a bad way or in a good way, and to create change as a part of the emotional evolution, we have to become aware. That's the first key. And our emotions, they serve in a variety of purposes. Emotions can be fleeting, they can be persistent, they can be powerful, complex, and even life changing. Because we all felt moments of really life changing feelings where we feel like we can, just fly away, fly with the wind, and have vision wings, and we just feel that there's something special to it, and it motivates us to keep going on that journey. And as I said, emotional awareness is really important, because if we want to come back to that, authentic space and be in alignment with ourselves, in congruency with ourselves, we really need to embrace all our emotions, to embrace who we are with all our emotions, to be able to come out as our true selves. And that's what I want for us, the adults, and also for children, for them to start earlier on, because there's so many emotions today. Like you said, there's six main emotions, but again, there is a mix of so many emotions in between those emotions. So, I mean, there can be guilt, fear, and shame, and some kind of negative emotions, and then we have joy, and how to feel when you're peaceful. You have honesty, you have courage, and they're all emotions with some type of vibrational frequency. It's like when you say depressed, it's not like a word with a good energy to it in a way. And it's like there's an energy connected to all the emotion, and even all the words we use connected to these emotional states that we're in. So my thought today was to go through, what is emotional awareness by definition, just to start, to touch base and to see where that leads us. Right, Marina?
Yes, I so agree with you because, even when you take a course on NLP, or you take further advanced courses, It's very strange how people talk about aligning your values with your actions and your beliefs, but they're afraid of talking about emotions. So what's the
Exactly.
point of accumulating all these values, beliefs, and actions and all this information unless you get all in and you engage your emotions at every single level? After all, there is no other way of feeling that you live a fulfilled life unless you are emotionally involved.
Exactly. So emotion involved means like we have to become aware, and developing an emotional awareness means like you need to become 100% aware of your emotions in such a way that you always know why you are feeling bad or experiencing any other emotion, even if at the time feel you can't do something about it. But like we said, that there is a choice in it, but to know and to be able to question or to check in throughout the day, what kind of emotional state am I in? Or if it is that you feel bad, why are you feeling bad? Or why am I feeling bad right now? What kind of thought have I been thinking that is creating my emotional state right here, right now? And, when we feel bad or we feel guilt, we can talk to friends, we try to change their mood if they feel bad, or we try to do something that makes them feel good. And when someone feels depressed, you might take medication or tell your family or even see a therapist. But I mean, these were normal responses, to some of the emotions that we come across during our lives, because we all have ups and downs and phases that are really good, and then we have phases that we not feel so good or uncertain. There might be things that just come up, but what it is important to become aware of is that sometimes you get used to certain emotions to that extent that you live your life without even knowing or realizing that the emotion is there. And I'm going to share a story from my own life when it comes to that aspect, because I've been throughout my life a compromiser, a procrastinator, and I didn't even, or even a pleaser, and I didn't even understand that first until a few years ago. But what happened 2 years and 6 months ago, more or less, is that I found myself in complete exhaustion. I woke up one day and my face was numb. I was actually thinking, the thought, did I have a stroke? And I had to actually get out of bed. And not getting out this time, I had to just roll over and crawl out of bed and crawl myself and my body into the bathroom. And a process started at the time where I didn't really know what happened. And I know today that it was complete exhaustion. I couldn't move for 5 minutes on the floor with even feeling completely sick, being dizzy. I felt like throwing up. I couldn't move. I needed help to drive me and my son to activities. I had problems, even, moving my arms together, on a mobile phone to actually text a message. That was hard. I was shaking in everything I did, and as a whole picture, it was like when it happened, I got scared, I get sad, I get frustrated because like I felt like everything was taken away from me at the time, and I started in a way pray, I can't be in this state long because I need to take care of myself and my son and to go on with my life, and at least I don't have time for this, even that was also one thought, I had all these thoughts coming in, and then you create emotions. But the thing is, I'd gone for a long time in a state of stress. There were different things happening in my life and in my professional lives, and it's been going on for a long time. And I was just in a state of stress, so in a certain level of stress that to the extent, that I start to believe that this is how life should be, and that it was the normal experience to have this level of stress. And again, today I can say that that was a problem that resulted from complete lack of emotional awareness. I was not able to define how I felt, I didn't even allow myself to feel. I was on a survival mode at times. I just had to move on. I didn't have the time to feel the feelings. And sometimes I even feel bad about feeling bad. So it can be complex. But I really had to start sorting out things and to go through and to become emotional aware can be easy, but it also needs a lot of training because first you need to keep an eye on your emotions along with your thoughts and self-talk. After all, it's your self-talk that results in any emotional change you experience, whether it's good, or bad. And I think that the more you keep monitoring your emotions and thoughts, the more you will become aware of them, the more you will understand your own mood swings that seemed to have no reason earlier because everything was automated on that negative emotion. And I think that, with at least that's my experience, Marina, that without this kind of awareness, you will live your life feeling bad or stressed or whatever feeling you carry without knowing why, or even worse, feeling bad and thinking that this is your normal set point. I'm never going to get out. And that's how I felt too. It's like, I just had it. I need to get out. I cannot be in this. And thinking about my son, that was the least, the last thing I wanted for him to feel this way when at the age of 40 something, when it comes to that place in life, So I really had to dig deep and go down and start peeling off again, something I had done earlier in my life too, but I hadn't come down to the part where I saw this as a lack of emotional awareness. And I'll just give you a little example. I was in a program. It was around, I think it was around 2010. I don't remember the exact year, but that's not important though. But we were told to start, observing. Be the silent observer of your thoughts. You can actually see your thoughts. This is practice, but you could start to actually see and observe your thoughts as a movie, as a film, in front of you. And as I started to practice this and tried, it wasn't easy at first, and I was not aware of it the whole time. But then one day I realized I just heard this phrase really clearly, and the phrase was, "It's so hard." And I question it, like, why am I telling myself that this is so hard? Because in a way, it's not. It's not hard. And we were told, every time you hear a phrase that is limiting you in some way or it's holding you back, then you change it. And I realized that that was not my phrase. That was a phrase that I had taken from my mom, which is some, way of resistance that I'm grateful for today. But I had a time in my life where I didn't know what I wanted to do or what I wanted to study. And when I wanted to get into journalist school, she told me, why do you always want the things that's so hard? It's so hard, everything that you want. And I realized that this has been some kind of conditioning I heard early in my life. It was with really good intentions, and to try to teach me something or to give me some advice. But maybe, in that very moment, I thought maybe what have seemed hard for other people in my life would have been the easy route for me to take. But I had, that's just one phrase that I had been carrying on, and I was not conscious of it. It was there unconsciously. Every time something came up, I said, well, it's hard. So I changed that. So every time I actually discovered a phrase, and I could just take hold of it and grab it out and say, well, this is not hard, it's easy. So I started to say to myself, it's not hard, it's easy. And even today, I have moments where I can still, realize, wow, I used the phrase again. I said it's hard, and then I changed it. It's easy. As long as it is in alignment with who you truly are. Because if not, you're going to have other signals as well. You're going to have other types of emotions. But as long as you're in alignment with yourself and you hear phrases, because that's mind, that's old conditioning, old patterns, bad habits, you don't need them. you can just take him out of your life, and you fill up with something positive and good and joyful, and you just go out there and use that new phrase for whatever it's worth, in an affirmation, or just tell yourself if you discover that phrase that was holding you back. And that's just one little thing. Yeah.
You know how I'm so happy you are sharing this, because each time I'm saying to my clients, it's easy. They look at me as if I lost it. I said, no, it's dead easy. It's done.
Yeah.
You just need to become aware of your feelings. How much do you want this? How
Mhm.
much do you want to change your life? How much do you want to control your emotions? How much you want to ask yourself the right questions? How much do you really want to identify yourself with your emotions
Mhm.
and be the step into your own power? Because you,
Exactly.
you see, accepting your feelings and reflecting on your feelings, uh, I mean, it's almost like creating the forecast for your feelings.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are saying, some people are saying, I know it will haunt me, or I know I will feel guilty about this, or whatever they're
Hmm.
saying to
Hmm.
themselves, and this is exactly what's going to happen. But when you are
Exactly.
going to say the opposite of that, you just put it upside down. The all this conditioning which has been engraved in your brain, just put it upside down, and you are going to say, I'm going to feel so good about this. I
Hmm.
will never feel better than when I'm getting there, or publishing my book, or releasing this idea, or
Exactly.
sharing with my audience, or speaking on stage, or becoming a host on Radio Works World. So how you it's all about wow. It's transferring the how into the wow.
Exactly.
It's not about how I'm going to do this. It's wow, I'm doing this. I'm all in.
Hmm.
And this is
Exactly.
something you feel, because wow is something you feel. It's
Hmm.
not something you doubt. It's not something you question. It's not something that could allow the word but or if.
Yeah.
It's when. And if it's
Exactly.
right now, when it's right now, it's even better. So to
Hmm.
me, it's not easy. It's dead easy. It's done.
It's even better. Done deal. But the thing is, I understand, because when you're in a process where you're not aware, and you're not even aware that you have a choice and that you can actually do something about it, it takes time to implement and to understand what it is about. But to just know it, I mean, to start noticing certain things that goes on in your mind, and to be able to pick those phrases out, it just start with the small ones, small steps, I'm saying, because here is the choice. I mean, if you see one phrase like that, do something about, make that choice, have the courage to take it out and look at it, look at that specific phrase. I mean, there are many examples on in many ways to become emotional aware, but this just is just one. And the thing is, when we talk about choice, when it comes to the emotional you actually choose to be in, or the emotional state you choose to be in, this is also where it becomes complicated for many people. And I understand why, because why we live in a society where in most cases we consider our outer and inner circumstances as somebody else's fault or someone else's responsibility. And in a way, sometimes you kind of feel empty, saying, well, I have no choice. I had no choice. This is how I've led my life, because I had no choice. And I hear older generations, I have other people say it, I even hear young people say it. But I think that's not a part of us, really. That's conditioning. And we have to become aware of that type of feelings, because we have a choice, but it's new. But let yourself, I mean, that again, embrace yourself and that emotion you feel when you hear that you actually have a choice. Because a choice, I mean, the first time I heard it, I got really provoked. I said, how could I have a choice when I was a young child? How could I even know? Because all you do is you choose strategies to live on in the situations you are in, to go along on your journey, and you make certain truths around what happens in yourself. And when you grow older and become aware of what happened, then you start peeling off all the layers, and you try to come back to who you really are. Try to find back to yourself. And But the thing is, when you become emotional aware and you have these wow, factors, and they surround you and they become a new part of your life. And really another interesting fact that I found only a year ago is that our brain is by default negative. I heard it before, but I think it's interesting to know because statistically, some say you need for one negative thing that's said to you, actually need eight positive things to get back to that original state you had before you heard a negative thing. Because we tend to keep on with the one negative thing that was said or that we felt, or instead of trying to find the positive, counterparts to that negative feeling. And the interesting thing is, if you go with one emotion for a long time, or an emotional state or in a mood over a specific, phase in your life, your brain start coming up with solutions, how to take actions on. And that can, I've been in dark places in my life, and I know that my brain come up with really, dark solutions. But the thing is, we can build neural pathways. And that was the amazing discovery I did a year ago. And it just really, it's like a piece of the puzzle that I have felt, and that in a way you feel is a part of us, but you're not really sure. But that we were actually able to build neural pathways, meaning, if you see, we were on the negative side, and now if you start, pushing yourself to become emotional aware and take action on it and choose your emotion, you start building new neural pathways in that direction. And I know people today that can say with total integrity and say that I know that 95% of my thoughts are truly positive. But most people, if you think about it, throughout the day, what have I thought about today? What have I said to myself? What kind of self-talk have I led myself into? Again, this is about taking responsibility and fully responsibility for how you feel in every single second of your day. It's new to many people, but when you start, you're going to have some ahas. And today, I can actually say to myself, well, sometimes I discover what kind of state am I in? It's not a state that really serves me. It's a negative state. And then I go back and I say, okay, what thought did I just think? Or what thoughts have I been thinking today to lead me into this emotional state where I am now? And I can go immediately in and just change it. Because if I can actually catch that thought, I will understand why I am in the emotional state I am. And if it doesn't serve me, if it keeps me unfocused, it doesn't make me productive, it doesn't, lead me, at least, to bring it to that other level I think about, to actually love yourself, in the end, with all that is, to just be that emotion. So that's what I'm saying, Marina. Embrace your emotions. Embrace all your emotions so you can be that, the beautiful human being you are in the whole spectrum, in every piece of you. Because I believe that, if we can just, come from a non-judgmental place, I'm not talking about what other people would say about you and your emotions, but if you can do that to yourself and start right there, because that's where we have to start, with ourselves, then we're going to have and bring this to a whole new level. And today, it's so much easier for me to actually go in and say that, I actually have to create my own reality. I am creating my own reality. I am that creation, and that's why I have to be aware of my emotions, so they serve me in a good way, and also to serve others in a well meant way, and with good intentions. So
You see, all during the last weeks, we had over 50 shows, and at least 10 of them, there were people from speaking from a place of understanding their emotions. And
mm-hmm.
each one of them, I'm talking about world-class speakers traveling the world and sharing their passion with the rest of the world. And each one of them told us exactly the same message with
Yeah,
different words and their
exactly.
own unique way.
That's amazing.
You see, emotion is about how you align your actions with your beliefs and your values.
Exactly.
And none of them will ever have any value to the world unless you go all in and do two things.
Mm-hmm.
One, make it your business to believe in your passion, to believe in yourself, and unmake it your business to what other people think of you.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, it's almost like people go to a hypnotherapy session to get help and control their emotions, but actually what is happening there, other people are very afraid of these sessions, but what is happening there, you get unhypnotized from a state of struggles into a state of powerful, beautiful emotions.
Yeah.
So you trade your state of um, confusion or fear
Mm-hmm.
into love and confidence. So
Exactly.
emotions are all available, all 6,000 of them, to all of us, to each one of us.
7,000. I heard the
Oh,
other day. No,
7,000.
no, I don't know, Marina, but they're just
Last
numbers
time when
out
I
there.
read about this was last year, so
Yeah.
surely, I'm sure it's a lot more. I'm sure it's a lot
So
more.
many emotions out
You
there
know, so
in
so
us.
I wish I could experience all of them one by one,
Mm-hmm.
and because unless you try them on, it's like going for a test drive. Okay, so you might feel, one of our listeners out there could feel right now very disappointed, with low energy, and what is costing you to try on
Mm-hmm.
a smile and feel excited? Think
Exactly.
about something like a child, because I left my childhood decades ago, but the child never left me. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
somebody from South Africa told me, "You are like a little girl." I said, "I am. I'm
Yeah.
not like. I am a little girl. I get excited. I
Yeah.
get excited about other people would never consider being excited about. They will never consider looking into. So you see, I don't need much. I don't need anything. I just need to make a choice. That's the only
Exactly.
need I have to
Mm-hmm.
fulfill my life mission, to
Mm-hmm.
to combine my great energies with other people's great energies, and send those vibration to you, our listeners, who are sitting there hiding in a corner thinking that this is not for me. I am afraid of life. I'm afraid of sharing. I'm afraid of talking about myself. And it's very simply trading. Do this trade. Trade your fear for love. Even
Yeah.
even if only one person out there will have our message right now,
Mm-hmm.
that means we can help millions of people.
Exactly. That's what we
And
want.
is nothing, is just the power of your emotions. Doesn't cost you anything to test drive better emotions and ask yourself better questions. You see,
Mm-hmm.
I have this I always had this in my mind, thinking, okay, are you aware of your emotions?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, are you even aware? Do you understand your feelings right now? The feelings in yourself, because I think Facebook is asking you what is in your mind or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good
So,
question. So you ask yourself, what is in my mind? It's not none of your business to know what is in other people's mind, because you divert your focus.
mm-hmm.
And are your emotions serving you, serving your purpose, your life purpose? Can you identify the emotions who are available to you right now and doesn't cost you anything? Can
Mm-hmm.
you identify um, your emotions from a large panel available to each one of us right now and say, this is mine, this is mine? Put your name on it. Can you put your
Exactly.
name on those great emotions?
Mm-hmm.
And the other question I'm asking myself, what can I do right now in this moment to align my values, my beliefs, and my actions with my emotions? Because they're mine, they have my name on it. And
Yeah.
unless you feel my vibrations, unless you feel my energy, means I did not do enough, and I have to work harder and master it.
Mm-hmm.
Over to you.
No, as you say, I think that it's so important to be, open, to keep that openness and vulnerability and honesty, to understand what this is all about, so we can actually come forward, come forward and just support each other in this, because I mean, we are conditioned in many ways, and also how to involve ourselves when it comes to our emotions. And I think that there's so many emotions that makes us hide from each other and leads us away from our honest selves, and being completely honest towards others as well. So I mean, when we're not honest or authentic in who we are, we weaken our energy as human beings. We lose power and motivation. And it's so important for us to understand that, certain emotions create a negative energy, and other emotions will carry you and make you fly higher than you ever dreamed of. And it's so important to become aware of this, so we don't waste time, so we can unleash massive potential and just get it out there and support each other, and make and do things that are even bigger than ourselves. And that's what Radio Word Works for all is Marina, and with you, with all your wisdom and your pure heart of gold, letting all these voices come together to actually make this platform for people to open up and to just be who we truly are, and to find that empowerment, and to be all our emotions, as we talk about today, but to actually embrace those emotions, and to understand how important they are in the process of finding yourself and loving yourself for just being you, because we are love. You are love, I am love. And that's the message for today.
Wow, I'm so grateful you are here, and you help our listeners to bank on the power of their emotions and master their emotional intelligence. Because if you think about, this is one asset that nobody can take away from you, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what's happening next, because all we have is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know what's happening tomorrow. But whatever happens tomorrow, good or bad, the good, the bad, the ugly,
Mm-hmm.
regardless, no one can take away your emotional intelligence, and that's limitless. Until next time, from both of us and from Teresa's son, is goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.